Alright YouTube, this is 2 cent back with my 2 cents on OCTOPATH TRAVELER, and today we're going to be talking about merchants, kind of giving you my rundown of each individual merchant here and kind of where I kind of want to place them on the tier list right now. But I've also put in here my favorite future unit that's going to be coming as a merchant for later on down the road, so make sure you stay until the end of the video so you can see who that's going to be, and please hit that sub button and let's get into it. Alright, so we do have 2 5-star units to kind of look at here for our merchant classes. Tressa, who is basically kind of like the first banner unit, but now she's been moved into the standard banner as well. And then we have Gilderoy. I gave Trissa a little bit of the edge here. I just liked her kit just a little bit more. We got some passive, being able to survive lethal damage once per battle with 1 HP. And then she's going to have a reduced SP cost as long as she's at full HP. It's a 50% reduction. So, you can say, if she's trying to tank, then maybe she's not going to be at full HP very often. But still, I did kind of like it. She also has that AoE taunt that also provides a full front row 15% attack up. And I think that is, really useful, especially, as we're beginning the game out and we don't have a lot of access to be able to hit these different sort of buff caps for our units. So we're going to get access to a 3x spear and 2x wind AoE, being able to dodge, being able to grant another player some BP. So I think overall she's got a pretty decent kit. Gilderoy, I think he's also decent as well. I know some people tout him as the worst beginning 5-star, but he does have his uses, specifically into the next arena, this first arena here. Being able to do some lightning damage and some spear won't be a bad thing at all for this encounter. So he's also going to start the battle with 20% strength up, and when he gets to critical HP, he puts a self-regen on. So he's got some things in his kit that are definitely not to slouch about. When he does his AoE taunt, he provides himself with 15% defense and magic defense up, which will certainly be useful. So let's get into our A tier. Basically, our 4-star units are going to be next. We have 4 of them. The first 2 here, we have Helga and Paya. And Helga, I really just kind of liked. I haven't been using her on my team just because I haven't pulled her as a 4-star version. I've actually been using Paya, but I do like Helga a little bit better. She's got the passive that when she enters into combat there, she inflicts a 15% attack down on all enemies for 3 turns. So I really like that as a way of just being able to kind of start the fight out, make sure you can get the rest of your buffs and everything before taking that kind of full damage from the enemy. And then what also is nice is her other passive is while she's at full HP, all enemies are taunted to her. So this is kind of nice because it kind of removes that having to, actually cast a taunt from some of these other merchants to be able to just go ahead and pull that aggro. And so I really do like that. Maybe in some fights you wouldn't, particularly find that useful. But in here, I really do like it as, just an option to have. We do get a self-heal as an option, 2 hit ice attacks, and 2 random target hits that also inflict a 15% speed down. So I do like that as being able to kind of manipulate and kind of debuff the enemy, which I think is a little bit rarer at these beginning units to kind of be able to debuff the enemy as well as be able to taunt as well. So now Pia, I think she's a little bit more of just kind of an all-round decent. She's got a 2x spear. She's got a light AoE. What I do also like about her is she also has the AoE taunt and then gives a full front row 15% attack up. So that can kind of help there. And then while she's at least above 50% HP, she gives herself a 15% defense up. So she kind of helps a little bit in all those areas there. Her other passive is a little bit useless as it's just a 3% leaf gain up. And leaves, as we're finding in this game, it's not like it's a hard currency to keep up. So, all right, let's look at our next tier here. All right, so here we have Barad and Devon, and I did give Barad kind of the edge here because he's the only one out of our 4-star and 3-star units here that's going to have access to a 3x spear attack. And so obviously if you're looking at breaking some shields and you need a spear unit, this is probably going to be a lot more attack focused kind of unit for you to be able to kind of break down those shields and whatnot there. At the start of the battle, he does give himself and an ally a 50% attack up, and that is in the same row. His other passive I don't like as much as when critical HP, he gets a full front row 15% spear up. So that's only going to really come into effect if you're utilizing additional spear units and you get him into critical HP. So I'm just not a big fan of those particular ones. We do get access to an AoE spear attack, so that's kind of helpful, but no real mass buffs for the front row, and no real big elemental attacks besides just a single fire hit. Now Devin, he's got this ability for a passive that gives himself regen, so that's kind of nice, and he boosts his own defense up at the start of battle for 15%, so he can kind of be useful in that regard. He's got access to a 2-time spear. He does have an AoE taunt that then further boosts defense and magic defense, so it's going to be a little bit more tank oriented, has that regen, so he can get that kind of job done if that's what you're really needing and you don't have another tank from some of the further up ones on this list here. All right, down to our 3-star units. Of course, these are going to be ones that you're going to kind of only use in niche situations, or if you're just trying to fill out your team when you need some more spear units here. So I did put Carol up here in the front. One thing I did kind of like is she's got a 2-time spear attack that also taunts the target. So it's kind of nice you're not like missing out on damage or missing out on shield breaking just to be able to taunt. So I did find that kind of a useful sort of thing for her that's a little bit different than the other ones. And then at the start of battle, she gets both 10% defense up and lightning defense up for both her and the ally that she's paired with. She also gets a self-heal there. So it's just, I did kind of like her kit as a 3-star. And I could see that if this kit was like a 5-star unit, and had a 3 times hit or something like that, and then some a little bit more elemental, I think she could be really good in that regard. But down here, she's gonna have 3-star stats, and you're probably gonna end up utilizing somebody else over her, at least eventually. So now next we have Connie here. Definitely just going to be kind of a tank version, 2-time spear. She doesn't have a single enemy taunt or an AoE taunt, so you kind of get access to both there if that's what you're looking for. And then she got her own self-heal. Her passive's going to be another one of those leaf gain ones, but if you're needing some wind defense, she does also add that for herself and an ally. And then Juan, he's got an AoE taunt and spear AoE. There's nothing super about either him or Connie. He does actually give a 10% magic defense up and light defense up for him and his paired ally. So maybe in there you could utilize that if you're specifically looking for those 2 sort of defenses. So anyway, let's move on to the merchant that I'm looking most forward to coming to global. All right, and that's going to be Cecily or Cecily. I do kind of like she's going to have this, sort of 3 different sort of weapon types that we're going to be seeing from future units, and I do like having that as, different options for things. So her kit specifically going to have that kind of spear, axe, and tome, but she's also going to access to 2 times the light AoE. So definitely going to be a unit that I'm looking forward to in the future here, and that's been my 2 cents.